Welcome to the garden. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll probably recognise that this isn't actually my garden. Today we're at Neds Corner Station and I'm going to show you around. Let's have a look. Neds Corner Station is a 73,000 acre property in the far northwest of Victoria. It's owned by Trust for Nature and managed for conservation. The property is managed by Peter and Colleen, who just happen to be my parents. And we've come out to spend the weekend with them. Mum and Dad live on the property, and as well as managing the property, they look after the gardens around their house and the homestead. The boys love coming out to Neds. They get to play, explore, and have adventures. This garden's an eclectic mix of rustic history, creative upcycling, and probably every ceramic animal you can think of. Got a real mix of hardy Australian natives, as well as a lot of ornamental plants for flowers, but out here everything has to be tough, otherwise it doesn't survive. One of the biggest pest problems in this garden is actually rabbits and kangaroos. There's a rabbit-proof fence right around the border, and the kangaroos keep a fair distance. But there's always the odd one that gets through.
National Park.
One of the things I love about this garden is that there's certain parts of it where you just feel like you're still in the natural environment, when actually you're still in the middle of the garden itself. A lot of the little local native species have been left to grow and have become part of the garden. It's the pearl blue bush, the old man saltbush, and a lot of other little plants that really become a feature of the garden. The garden's been planted up with so many native species, like these acacias of all different shapes and sizes. Everything's been edged with the natural limestone that occurs in the area. And then a whole range of other plants have been interspersed amongst that. Succulents feature quite heavily in the garden and are used for colour, structure and arrangements in amongst logs, ornaments and rusty relics. And tough flowering plants like the geraniums and the osteospermum are spread throughout. As the property is managed for conservation, the whole 73,000 acres is like a massive garden for Mum and Dad. It's all about planting the right plants for those conditions to attract the right species. Keeping the plants alive out here requires some ingenuity and a lot of hard work.
So do you think the emu ran through the water?
In the corner of the enclosure is the old meat house. This little structure was once completely clad with a fine mesh to keep out flies and other insects, and was used to store meat before refrigerators and freezers. Mum hopes to one day restore it to its somewhat original state to preserve this piece of history. Getting us and the boys out into nature, out into the bush, to explore and learn is the best thing about having parents who live on Ned's Corner.
Well, some of these flowers are different because if you look closely, these ones only have one set and these have two.
The garden is inspiring and there's always something new and different to see. We don't come out as often as we'd like to, but when we do, for the weekend or even a day trip, we just love it. There's so much more I'd like to show you at Ned's. I guess I'll just have to come back and film the rest.
I want to look at you.
I hope you've enjoyed having a look around Ned's Corner. We're heading home after a great weekend. If you liked the video, hit like below, subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening!